You ran off. You said, "Oh, phone call or something," and you took off. And so I was sitting there talking to Northern Cal for a while, and those guys were dropping the hammer. But I'm reaching over here to get my second channel going, and I'm going to play back what I just got. Here we go.
Hey, Danielsan, I don't think I need all that audio up in there. I think I might have had too much audio. I don't know. But that ought to sound a tad bit more better there. Danielsan, Motormouth Mall, right? You're right now breaking.
The power of the dark side.
Oh, my God. That's pretty funny. Hey, Danielsan, yeah, I went ahead and made some changes over here on the station a little bit, and I think it sounds pretty good. I like what I heard there. It sounds like it's got some punch. Sounds like it's got some reasonable fidelity. And, yeah, I would say it's working there. What do you think?
I would say so. Yeah, most definitely. I didn't record that much on that one. Here's a little bit of it.
Yeah, I would say it's working there. What do you think?
Yeah, I caught it at the very end there, but it is working. I like it. I'm noticing that it's got more bass than what I heard in the video. I don't know. I don't know why I didn't hear the video with the bass in it. If it's totally different than that, I don't know your session file. But this one does sound like it's got more bass.
What happens is with a receiver being real close proximity to the antenna and transmitter, the receiver goes into real bad compression. And not so much that it's distorted, not so much that you would call it severe front end overload, but nevertheless, it gets hammered pretty hard. So everything you hear in it really goes into a degree of compression, and so that the more you compress, of course, the more that fullness and that bigness in the bass tends to go away. And then, of course, if I was to set the processing so that it sounded really good to me and full and rich, it would be way over the top, probably on your side. So it has something to do, I believe, with the way the receiver is acting. But yeah, I like it. It's mellower, and it should sound pretty good with some playbacks. I'll play you this first, just a little bit, so you can hear what music sounds like. If I can find some good something to throw in the background. I don't know what sounds good. I know something like this, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. You can hear the bass, but it's still kind of subdued, right? So that gives you a little bit of a sample of that. And then, of course, there's this. That ought to sound pretty good over there. Anyway, so yeah, just a whole different session there, Greg.
I don't know if I'll be able to send that recording to you. That's probably going to be a few meg too long. I don't know. That was a long key down. And somebody, I think it was Homie the Clown, came in and said so. Not sure. You'll hear it here in the playback. Hopefully my stuff can handle it.
To me, and full and rich, it would be way over the top, probably on your side. So it has something to do, I believe, with the way the receiver is acting. But yeah, I like it. It's mellower, and it should sound pretty good with some playbacks. I'll play you this first, just a little bit, so you can hear what music sounds like. If I can find some good something to throw in the background. I don't know what sounds good. I I know, something like this maybe. I don't know. We'll see. You can hear the bass, but it's still...
Man, he's staying on the key long enough to write an encyclopedia.
But a sample of that, and then of course there's this.
And that right there sounds great.
That ought to sound pretty good over there. Anyway, so yeah, just a whole different section there, Greg.
And there you have it. Pretty long key down. I guess mine's even longer now since I played that whole key down plus what I'm talking about, so shit. Danielsan Tucson with that Motormouth Mall playback.
Yeah, boy, yeah, I heard Homie the Clown, so Maddie's staying on the keys long enough to write an encyclopedia. Oh, that had me rolling over here. Pretty funny. But yeah, I think there's plenty of bass. I don't think I'm going to go searching for too much more. I'm pretty happy with the session file. It sounds good on a narrowband receiver like a Cobra 148. It sounds really good on your receiver. Holy cow, that was mind-blowing. And yeah, I think it'll do the trick there. So I put 2 new relays in my box, by the way. I had the coils go out, and so I put a couple of new relays. And anyway, put them in there today and retuned everything. Man, this thing is amazing. I don't know what's going on different here. I retuned it, and my quiescent current when I'm keying down on just a dead carrier, not quiescent current, I guess, but you know, idle current on a dead carrier dropped a lot, but I'm still making the same power. And my peaks, they're going off the chart, and I'm pulling a little less current. So I guess it was time to retune. It's been a long time, but it's running things a little bit out of whack, I guess. But anyway, tell Homie the Clown that I did say hello, and good day to him, and good to hear you up in there. Danielsan, beautiful audio. And I have a gate rolling, by the way.
Did you just drop out on purpose? I don't know. That almost sounded like an abrupt ending, but I'm not sure. But Homie the Clown was saying he liked to mess with you, Motormouth Mall. He said he liked to mess with you, and he wanted me to five a friendly wave. So... pass it your way. All right. So anyway, Motormouth Mall, Danielsan Tucson, and Homie the Clown.
10-4. I appreciate the wave, and big old wave right back there to him. And yeah, I don't mind. It's all good out here, man. No, that was not an abrupt ending. That was, let me play this back here. What was that? Let's see here. My quiescent current when I'm keying down, I just have to go to the end here. That quiescent current, I guess, will go to your way. Tell Homie the Clown that I did say hello, and good day to him, and good to hear you up in there. Danielsan, beautiful audio. And I have a gate rolling, by the way. Yeah, somebody in there was playing a dead carrier.
Did you just drop out on purpose?
Then a whistle.
I don't know.
So yeah, that wasn't me dropping out. That was something weird going on there with Mother Nature, I guess. Stop already. Stop. I gotta have a talk with my engineer. Anyway, man, that sounds good. I like that. You got it going on in the world of sound. Danielsan, Motormouth Mall, stepping right there right now. Break.
All right, Motormouth Mall, yeah. Homie the Clown is in there like crazy, man. He's got Tucson locked down, and he keeps getting in there saying he likes to mess with you a little bit, and that he likes to listen to your show. I missed part of it. My mind is messed up. He said something about the ugly Pink Panther. Something. I messed that all up, Homie the Clown. I apologize, man. Oh, well. Anyway, hey, Motormouth Mall, I wanted to ask you a question about the Gamma match. How much loss is there between the Gamma match, and the radiating element? Is that measurable?
Loss? No. There's a lot of people that get into the whole hot feed thing and get rid of the gamma match and do this, do that because of loss. The loss is negligible. The real only need for changing from a gamma match to a balanced or a hairpin or any other, a hairpin is balanced, but, change any kind of a match out there is primarily preference. And if you want to get away from a gamma match, the one benefit that you get is lack of skewing of the signal. If you want your beam to be pointed due east and you want to talk due east and you don't want a little skewing to one side or the other, if your gamma match tends to be on the, let's say it was on the left side and you're looking east, it might skew the pattern to the right side. And so, but aside from that, and that's no big deal, it doesn't seem to affect anybody out here on the band, so no big deal. No, I wouldn't worry about loss there, Brig.
Okay, well, I was just curious with that because I'm looking at maybe putting up something a little bit different in a couple months, to try my luck at a 3 or a 4 element Yagi. And I was just wondering about the gamma match there because I kind of figure, if I'm going to run anything, considerable, a box with it or something, then, the energy loss there is probably almost nothing. I mean, but I wasn't sure. I don't know. I've never really ran a gamma match before, so my only experience with it was with the V quad, and that was for like a day.
Yeah, 10-4. No, the loss is negligible. Maximum power transfer occurs when the impedance is matched properly, and it depends on how well you tune it. I mean, if a guy decides, see, here's the trick, and this is the only reason I don't like gamma matches. I am not certain exactly how to get the same measurement multiple times in a row with an MFJ on a gamma match fed antenna, because all my stuff is basically a split dipole feed, a split dipole to be balanced, meaning you can clamp an MFJ onto it and get a reading. And when the reading shows the same as what the computer mock-up of the same thing shows, then everything is doing pretty doggone good. But with the gamma match, if your antenna, for whatever reason, spacing, lengths, whatever, is not quite right, you can put the gamma match on there and tune it up and get your flat 50 ohms. All right, that's all good. But what happens if your gamma match is performing the function of correcting conjugal reactance? So if you don't have your antenna tuned at, say, 27025 plus or minus J0, maybe your antenna is going to be 12 ohms. Maybe it's going to be 32 ohms. Maybe it's, 100 ohms. Who cares? But if it's not X of 0, not only are you expecting your gamma match to do the job of direct impedance matching, i.e. 50 ohm coax to 33 ohms, 25 ohms, 12 ohms, you're also expecting that gamma match to tune out the conjugal reactance, whether it's inductive or capacitive. And so suddenly you're asking a lot. And at that point, if things aren't exactly right, there might be a little bit of a problem. At that point, it's still probably not a big deal. It's manageable. But the idea of a matching network is obviously to match everything. But just a simple gamma, the concept is that your antenna is already at a resonant frequency, and you're only matching impedance to impedance without the complex impedances to bring.
I don't know. I'm hoping I'm getting back into your receive there. But, okay. About that, because when I was messing with it, I was having so much difficulty getting that thing to tune up and keep the tune, is what I'm saying. I could get a 1-to-1 on it, but the second I moved it or the wind blew or whatever, everything would change.
No, you don't have any squeal.
See that in the SWR, but then it would stay changed. You would figure when the wind would go away, everything would fall back into place, and then you'd be back down to your little SWR or whatever, your 1-to-1 or 1-to-2. But no, it would stay changed. And I'm like, what's moving? And I made sure everything was tight.
Roger, yeah, that's weird. And, there's, again, that may be a sign that you could be trying to tune out a complex, inductive or capacitive reactance, which is very touchy. Whereas if you get that down to, if the antenna itself truly was, say, 25 ohms X of 0, then you're only matching 50 ohms to the 25 ohms, and it would be a lot more solid. So, yeah, I think, once you get it set right, it should stay. But if anything moves, then, yeah, things are going to change. It's like a quarter wave whip on a car. You dial that thing into 50 ohms plus or minus J0. You put a tuning network at the base of it, and everything is nice. Did I say that? And then you drive down the highway, and the antenna folds over a little bit, and you look at your MFJ meter while you're going 70 miles an hour. You're not 1.0 to 1 SWR anymore. You've just changed the characteristics of the antenna. Yeah, so it can be touchy, the break.
Right. And I realized that part of it. Yeah, definitely. But I don't know. I didn't like the gamma match because I couldn't get it to stay at a 1-to-1 or a 1-to-2. Every time even the rotor, when the rotor would turn. But see, it was interacting with buildings and other antennas too, so I don't know. I might pull it back out and try and get it or something. Because my little backyard probably wasn't the right place to try to tune up that antenna.
Yeah, 10-4. It was probably getting all kinds of reflections and everything else, and depending on where you turned it and so on and so forth. But this little Mox line you're talking on is really impressive. It works really well. I like it. It's doing a good job. But if you go to a 3 or 4 element, standard Yagi with the gamma, I think you'll be happy. Get it tuned in. But like I say, I just don't know how you tune it. I mean, the best you can do is tune the antenna to the factory, recommendations, length and spacing wise. But that doesn't guarantee that the antenna is truly resonant at the frequency that you're trying for. And you can put a gamma match on a shopping cart and get 50 ohms plus or minus J0. The shopping cart may not talk across the street too well, but you can do it, Debris.
Right. Okay, and that's what I was trying to figure out, and you just helped me figure out some of that stuff. So, yeah. Because the Moxon that I have right now is direct fed, and it's lined up perfect. And I was like, all right, I'm happy with that. But I don't know, the gamma match, I've never had any experience with them. The Air Force, when I was in the combat unit, we played with mostly wire antennas. We didn't have gamma matches. We had couplers or the wire round tetroid type stuff. But yeah, no gamma matches like that, so they're kind of an odd thing to me.
Yeah, 10-4. And nothing but a series capacitor and inductor. Coming off the tip of the coax, you go to basically a capacitor, and then it goes through a length of tubing, which is actually your inductor, and you slide that inductor length back and forth, and then you tune the cap, and then you slide the inductor again, and you tune the cap, and you can walk that thing down, and you can tune just about anything with 2 components, But, think of a bell. Think of a bell. A bell that rings at, let's say, an A, 440 hertz. You want that bell to ring. Ding, and it just rings. Well, if that bell has a crack in it or is tuned to ring at some other frequency, no hitting it with the right hammer or tuning it or matching it is going to make it ring at 440. Only it being tuned properly. Now, if it doesn't like the kind of hammer you're using, and you want to use a different hammer or whatever to hit it, that's your matching network. Whether it's a piece of felt or whether it's a piece of rock or iron or wood or whatever, you're going to get a different sound or timbre or timbre, whatever, and you might have to hit it harder or softer with one material versus another. So your matching network isn't going to change the tuning of the antenna. But how else do you check that antenna? If it's a gamma feed with a grounded driven element, I don't know. But I do know that with a split element or balanced feed, like your Moxon or my beam or all kinds of other beams, then you can put the MFJ on there. And you can put the MFJ on a length of coax. It's either a electrical half-wave length or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, however many half-wave lengths you need to get that reading that you would take if you were at the feed point of the antenna itself. So you can measure it. And then once you know that your antenna is whatever impedance it is, at a reactance of 0, no inductive capacitance or reactance, then you know the antenna is ringing and resonant. And then all you're doing is matching impedance, and that becomes easy.
All right. Conditions are dipping and diving and doing all that stuff right now, so I heard it all, though, but I don't know if I got enough to get back to cleanly. I hope so. So the way I'm looking at it, because the way I thought of it before, now, is that it's kind of like an antenna tuner, basically. So you could have a mismatched antenna, put an antenna tuner on there, your radio is 1-to-1, but your antenna is a 5 or something, or 3 or whatever. So you still have a mismatched antenna. That's what I'm getting out of this. So I don't know. I'm kind of deciding I want to stay away from gamma matches.
Yep, there you go. You're on the right track. And there's one other weird thing, and that is that if you do use an antenna tuner, and there are circumstances where you can use ladder line and balanced feed antennas and so on and so forth to get things to work pretty well. But if you do use an antenna tuner, everything connected to the antenna tuner, i.e. the coax going up to the antenna and the antenna, all become the antenna. So when you're tuning the antenna tuner, no longer are you even radiating off of just the element or just the antenna itself. You're radiating off the coax as well, because the coax becomes part of the network. So yeah, it's really important to put a tuner, if you're going to use a tuner, it's important to put a tuner at the feed point of the antenna. But even then, you'll get the best results when the tuner only has to tune a simple impedance. As soon as it has to do a complex impedance, where you have a reactive an inductive or a capacitive reactive component, then all bets are kind of off. You can still get 50 ohms plus or minus J0. You can still get your transmitter to be happy, but if the antenna isn't happy, it doesn't matter. So it all boils down to making the antenna happy, and then working with your matching network to make your radio happy. But the matching network and nothing you do up to the antenna can make the antenna happy.
Yeah, roger that. Yeah, I do realize that with the antenna tuner. Yeah. I don't use antenna tuners, or I try not to. That's why I had the magnetic loop, because all the tuning was right there at the antenna. You couldn't get any closer, right? Anyway, Motormouth Mall, conditions are dipping and dabbing, and I've been on here for a little bit, and I got other stuff I got to do. You know how it is running a household. So I do appreciate all the info, though. I do. I hope I'm but anyway, I do appreciate the info. It's always a pleasure talking to you. You open up my mind to so many different things, man. So thank you. With the audio, with the antennas, radios, and
I'll tell you what, your conversation here is going to put me at odds with a lot of people, because I'm going to post this up on YouTube, and there are going to be a lot of people who disbelieve in what I say. So they're going to get me in trouble on Facebook and YouTube, but it's all good. Hey, Danielsan, it's been a pleasure with the double measure. I know you've got a lot to do, and Mother Nature's dipping and dabbing. I can hear her fading away, so I'm going to get on that here too, but it's been a whole lot of fun. Danielsan, Santa Grand on the band, Motormouth Mall, your West Coast. Under modulator B, stepping right there, right now.
all right, Motormouth Mall. I caught it all. Is it working for you? I don't know if it's going right away then. But there are some back out of the
Danielsan, yeah, I tried peeking out my my phaser over here, and I lost you, but I couldn't get you any better, so I think Mother Nature's on her way out. So I'm going to say 73s for now. We'll catch you a little bit later on. Been a whole lot of fun. Danielsan, Motormouth Mall, your West Coast. Undermodulated beast. Got down.
I got it, Motormouth Mall. I don't know if I'm getting back into your receive, but thank you for the info. I appreciate it. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Well, I'm not a crook.
Bye. That sounds pretty good. All right there, Danielsan. Have a good day. I'll see you. Motormouth Mall, stepping.